Acts chapter 8 and Proverbs chapter 20. In Acts chapter 8, the story of Philip and the Ethiopian eunuch, I want to start reading in verse 26. It says, "Now an angel of the Lord said to Philip, go south to the road, the desert road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza. So he started out, and on his way he met an Ethiopian eunuch, an important official in charge of all the treasury of Candace, queen of the Ethiopians." So he's sent by an angel, just told, just go that direction. And he happens, God incidents, to meet this guy who's one of the most important people in the entire continent of Africa. And this man, it says, next verse, the next part of the verse says, had gone to Jerusalem to worship and was on his way home, sitting in his chair, reading the book of Isaiah the prophet. The Spirit told Philip, so now the Spirit of God is nudging him, first an angel and the Spirit of God, go to that chariot and stay near it. And Philip ran up to the chariot and heard the man. So the man's reading out loud from Isaiah the prophet. Do you understand what you are reading? How can I, he said, unless someone explains it to me. So he invited Philip to come up and sit with him. So obviously the man trusted Philip. Philip had a very sincere humility about him. But to me, the touching part is that the Ethiopian eunuch was reading Isaiah 53, verses 7 and 8. And since I'm in a season when I'm teaching Isaiah 53, and Isaiah 53 is the most specific, descriptive passage of Jesus Christ on the cross in all the Old Testament. Nothing comes close to the details in these 12 verses of Jesus Christ on the cross and how the Messiah, I want you to hear this, there are 23,145 verses in the Old Testament. And this Ethiopian eunuch obviously had them all because he had what's called the law and the prophets. So he had 20. So for him to just happen to be reading the 12 verses out of 23,145, they're the most important 12 verses in all the Old Testament for someone to understand about Jesus. It just really makes me aware that we do all we can on witnessing, but God also has supernatural plans and supernatural ordained times for us to meet with certain people. And so it takes some of the pressure off me to say, just be available, John. Just be ready. Just be serving and loving and encouraging people. And God will open up the doors, the right time, the right person, the right supernatural God incidents, not a coincidence, but a God incident. Now let's go over to Proverbs. And in Proverbs chapter 20, verse 29, it says, the glory of young men is their strength, and gray hair the splendor of the old. And you've probably noticed I'm getting more and more of that gray hair. And I just like the fact that my wife and I were very blessed. Our church is not only multicultural, but our church is very multi-generational. And we've noticed as I'm in my 60s and Beth is in her now last part of her 50s, that the more we hang out with young people talk about what they're going to do. And the glory of young men is their strength. The glory, what they look forward to, or what they're proud of, is what they're going to do. Gray hair is the splendor of the old, what they have done. And the point is, both of those are good things. Both of those are wonderful things. What it's saying is, there's such a beauty when old people and young people come together. And I'm just so blessed that in our church we have such a blending of not just multicultural, but multi-generational. I love when both young and old listen together because there's so much to be learned from both of them. Hope you're having a great day. The Lord bless you. Let the heart of God shine in your heart through the word of God today. Have a great day.